You've heard of Elf on a Shelf, right? Yeah, of course you have. Recently, my mum made me these, introducing Mischief and Mayhem. And these little guys gave me an idea. My plan is as follows. Similar to Elf on a Shelf, I want to use these little guys to create, well, some mischief and mayhem throughout our flat that we're living in at the minute for Alicia in the same way, like I said, that you would with an Elf on a Shelf. If you didn't know about Alicia already, my wife, she is a fan of, she was a bit of a goth, big fan of Marilyn Manson and things when she was younger. We both absolutely love like Wednesday, things like that. I'll put a video up here. She did a recent painting of Wednesday, which I love. I think she'd really enjoy it. She loves that kind of genre. So I'd like to go, you know, take inspiration from Elf on the Shelf, but make something that's Halloween related. Maybe just a little bit dark and a little bit adult themed, but also something that hopefully is just, you know, daft and funny and she'll get a kick out of. I don't know if this video is going to make it out because I'm currently on day one and she might not find this funny. I may be totally off track. So, yeah.
Before we start, I want to give a big shout out to the person who came up with this knitting pattern that my mum used to make these. She actually calls them the HALLOWEENIES, and it's from Silas Pearls. So, big shout out, thank you so much to Silas Pearls for creating the HALLOWEENIES. I've named obviously my ones, Mischief and Mayhem. If you're interested in making these, I'll leave a link down in the description where you can go find the pattern. Okay. Day one. First up, I thought it'd be good to start out by just showing Alicia that they've been watching her. And the way that I did that was by putting them in loads of different photos that we've had up around the flat, telling her that there was going to be 10 different places around the flat, when actually there was only 9. And yeah, well, that's it. Day 2, as a way to introduce the rest of the characters that I'm going to be using, they started an MLM. Aptly named Vita Serpentis Global, because basically it was something that was like clearly snake oil that they're selling, and you know, how can we make it sound not so obvious? On day 3, my stepdad and mum were visiting us, and while Alicia was at work, they decided to kidnap the 3 of us and send Alicia a message alongside this image that read, "Bring us back a pumpkin or the humans will suffer." Because we had family visiting us and we were all together, I didn't have much time, so they had an orgy. Day 5, this was the introduction for the character arc that would be Little Miss Brave, and her first thing that she was brave enough to do was to try out some free acupuncture. Today, they drank all of Alicia's Pepsi Max, full fat, which, if you know Alicia, that is some serious stuff. Day 7, someone decided to try and feed them vegetables. Day 8, they decided to have a drug-filled party with a load of their new friends. And the bit that I really enjoyed actually doing, and when I bought this little guy from the charity shop, I liked that it had the zip at the end because I instantly thought, while stood in the charity shop, that penguin's going to be a drug mule. Using some porcupine spines, they decided to have some jousting lessons, which did have a few casualties, but also this was the introduction for our nurse character, who started to help out the toys that it didn't go so well for. Day 10, they decided to get up to a bunch of different mischief around the flat, and they took photographs of themselves and put this on Alicia's tablet, so she, actually, as I record this, she still hasn't seen those images. When she came back home that day, she was like, oh, they've not done anything. I was like, oh well, obviously not. And she just still hasn't found them. Little Miss Brave again, having a go at the thermosensory pod. Then, from one of Alicia's favourite films, Beauty and the Beast, we got Chip here, and he is definitely filled with apple juice. Honest. This looked like a great fun day, having a go in a washing machine. I mean, well, up until you fall off. Okay, this day might need a bit of explaining. So it was because I had planned to do something else that I'll get to in a second. But I don't know if you can kind of tell because it wasn't so obvious. But basically, my idea was that having gone on the spin the day before, it actually got a bit out of hand. And what ended up happening was the monkey swallowed majority of the rabbit, which is why his head's come off. Day 15, start of the gene splicing. So this was lesson number 1. Today, took this straight out of the Elf on a Shelf playbook, especially because I just didn't have much time, so there we are, holes in some toilet paper. So I was out at work all day this day, so I had to think of something that I could do while I was out and about. As it turned out, I was actually at a donkey sanctuary, and Alicia loves donkeys. So what better than for them to have a donkey ride and, you know, to be like, no, Alicia didn't get a go. Which actually worked because she sent a message back to me when I sent her these images saying, I can't believe I'm jealous of some soft toys. Today they got up to some very adult themed mischief, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Moving on. Gene splicing. I know it's not actually gene splicing, but that's the best I could come up with at the time. Gene splicing lesson 2. Little Miss Brave again, and also the nurse helping things out. Fans of South Park might recognise this.
Should I eat a cuttlefish and asparagus or the vanilla pesto?
I actually found a Cartman that I had, a keychain that I've got, using Alicia's tablet, obviously. Here we are, my take on the, toy Sentai pad.
Hold on, Kaeru! I believe in you!
Today, just someone having his ball smashed. That's it. Taking inspiration from the magical world, they decided to try out a bit of magic of their own. The MLM wasn't doing too well for them, so they've decided to start a cult, aptly named the Children of Beelzebub. As you can see here, the offerings, that was actually something that tickled me more than most things. Well, actually, this whole thing tickles me more than probably it tickles anyone else, because, you know, I find myself funny, and obviously no one else probably does. But one of the things that I really enjoyed today was the offerings, because it not only did include money, but also the arms and legs from Little Miss Brave. As the cult grows, they had to have sort of seminars or workshops, whatever they want to call it. Today's one was about what the future holds for the chosen few. And he used these very cool cards to create some kind of scene, and obviously using the magic that they've learned, telling some kind of story. At least that's the idea, anyway. This was a nice simple one. They just had a go at drawing Alicia's portrait. Next up, for the Children of Beelzebub, I can't say that. Children of Beelzebub. That is the point. Next up, for the Children of Beelzebub, they had a seminar on raising the dead for beginners. So throughout the month, we had this nurse character that was helping out these different toys that were going through various things, bringing them back to health, whether they were spliced together, whether they impaled themselves, whatever had happened. But mischief and mayhem are meant to be chaos demons. So they decided to burn her as a witch. Sorry, everyone. So therefore, I decided to do something a bit more fun the next day. They had a day out with Echo, but then not just a day out, they had fun just, all over the place. And as you can see here, Echo absolutely loved it.
Whoa.
Developing from their MLM days and what they've learned throughout the rest of the month and starting the cult, they decided to come up with a brand new elixir. And that elixir had a very specific ingredient. It wouldn't be Halloween unless we had a carved pumpkin. Last but by no means least, fans of South Park might like this one again. All the toys are going to have a great day together. The cult is there and they're working towards...
Yay! Blood orgy! Blood orgy! Yay!
And there we are. Do you think this is something we could add in each year to Halloween? I think it went all right. I mean, like with Elf on the Shelf, there's definitely days where I'm like, oh, I haven't thought of something. What can I do? What was your favourite? Comments down below. Otherwise, happy Halloween, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.